a voice called. He glanced up and immediately returned to digging. "Allgrave Burning," the voice drawled, mocking the name and the title. "It's about your sister. Seems she wandered off from the operations bunker." Burning, born Emmett Orman, the 10th and current Allgrave of the Exts, planted the E-tool. On Anvil Tour, it was not especially bizarre to see Zone wearing a major's trefoils instead of a lieutenant's stars, or, for that matter, a sergeant's stripes. As Ext units were attrided, Field's promotions had become daily, even hourly commonplaces. Hell, what would it matter now if General Delicato bucked the Patho bastard to Field Marshal? When one came right down to it, Zone's new rank was no more unmerited than Burning's being named Allgrave, which he owed to a chance of lineage and had been granted against his will. "I gave word that Fiona was to be watched," he said at last. Sucking at his teeth, Zone offered a languid salute. His raw-boned, muscular body never even approximated the position of attention, but almost nobody else's did anymore either. "Sweetmeat was doing just that, sir, till he stumbled into a law recon floater packing a coil gun." "How long has Fiona been gone?" "Excuse me, Allgrave, but I've had better things to do than watch over her. She hasn't passed through the perimeter, if that's any consolation to you." Zone's hollow-eyed stare was different from the 1,000-meter gaze so many Exts wore these days. Zone's was more daring, and he had always had a special bad eye for Burning, one that said, "Yeah, you're right to be afraid of me, and we both know why. Only I'm not going to put it into words just yet, and you're too rule-bent too." Burning stepped out of the fighting hole, adjusting his battle suit and then taking up his boomer. The heft of the big battle rifle gave him pause for just a moment. Why not just toad crank Zone now? Square away accounts while he had the chance. 2 years earlier, the idea would have appalled him, but the law conquest had changed that. In any case, it wouldn't be the first time Burning had boomed another Ext as a matter of wartime necessity. But Zone was staring straight at him, maybe expecting it. Then, too, Zone was the best fighter on Anvil Tour, perhaps in all the broken country, and he was going to be needed soon. Burning slung arms. "Where are the discards?" Zone nodded toward the cliff face. "Over that way, maybe." "Fiona's probably with them, but I'll check it out. If anybody needs me—" "In fact, Allgrave, Daddy D's been yelling for you in the bunker." "Tell General Delicato that whatever it is will have to wait." "Don't think so," Zone said, shaking his head. "Somebody's out across the perimeter, asking to summit with you." "Who?" "That's the mystery of it." The muscles in Burning's jaw bunched. "We all dug in?" Zone spit on the ground. "Getting there. Fireball mortars, AAA batteries, rest of the crew-served weapons. Countersonics and ECM are in place. Ran out of landline fiber, but we've got runners set up. Daddy D's got everybody consolidated, chain of command patched. Half-assed, anyway." They headed for the operations bunker, passing small groups of Ext soldiers hastily preparing fighting positions, all of them descended from the extroceptive implant-controlled slaves who had claimed a bloody freedom when the cyber plagues had reached concordance, and had gone on to forge themselves into the planet's most stoic and fearless guerrillas. Filthy, damaged battle suits showed patches and unit flashes from all across the broken country. The Grey Flats Gang, Murderers Cole Heavy Arty, Ryoko's Ronin. As they passed, a catapult paratrooper from the Rumpsteak Glacier Amphib muttered, "We get him at close quarters tonight and we'll baste them all. Santeria corners all over again, you just watch." It had been the only clear Ext victory in the latter part of the war. Murphy's Law at critical mass. All concordance and Periapt warwares had malfunctioned or cancelled each other out. SAT, countersat systemetry, air power, anti-aircraft weapons. Command and coordination nets had failed, rain had set in, and the brutal terrain around Santeria Corners had become the scene of a far-flung 2-day-long gutter fight. Even so, Burning faked agreement whenever Exts cited the battle to bolster themselves, and modesty when they commended him for it. He and the command staff